Hey everyone, it's me Remzi. Before we get into the video, I want you guys to smack the like button if you guys want to see more videos. Alright guys, let's do this. So today I'm going to read you guys Ruth Law Thrills a Nation by story and pictures by Don Brown. Ruth Law Thrills a Nation. To my father, who taught me about airplanes and everything else. It was a frosty, blustery morning. Ruth woke up before dawn, but she did not feel the cold to get used to the cold weather. She had slept in a tent on a roof of a Chicago hotel. Oh, wow. She put on 2 woolen suits, one on top of the other. Then she put on 2 leather suits and covered her bulky outfit with a skirt. In 1916, a polite lady always wore a skirt. It was still dark when Ruth went to the Grant Park on the Lake Magician's shore where her plane was sitting. It was the tiny one she flew in the air shows. Ruth called it a baby machine. It was good for stunts, like Loop the Loop, but it was small and old. Ruth had tried to be a newer, bigger plane for her long flight, but Mr. Curtis, the manufacturer, had refused to sell her one. Hundreds of pilots have already been injured or killed flying, and Mr. Curtis did not believe a woman could fly a large plane. Magicians had worked all night on the plane. They had attacked a special windshield to protect Ruth from the cold wind, and had added a second gas to tank so she would not have to stop for fuel more than once. Now the plane could carry 53 gallons of gasoline, but the additional gasoline made the plane too heavy. To get rid of some extra weight, the mechanics took the lights off the plane. Without them, Ruth would have to reach New York City before nightfall. The freezing weather made the engine hard to start. More than an hour passed before Ruth could get underway. At 7:20 a.m., Ruth climbed into the cockpit. She removed her skirt and stuffed it behind her seat. God since defeated fashion. She opened the throttle. The plane leaped forward and bounced over bumps and hollows. It raced awkwardly across the ground. Then lift toward the sky. A fierce wind whipped through Chicago. It shook and tossed the small plane. A dozen onlookers watched in fear. A mechanic cried. Ruth struggled to steady the plane as it dipped and pitched in the wind. She narrowly topped the buildings and slowly climbed into the sky above Chicago. Ruth Law was on her way to New York City. Look at that. I've been to New York City. It was cool. I see a lot of buildings. A mile above ground, Ruth sliced through the frigid winter air at 100 miles an hour. She set her course by consulting the crude scroll of maps she had tapped together and attached to her leg. She also had a compass, a clock, and a speedometer. Ruth flew for nearly 6 hours. She was depending on the wind to help carry her from Chicago to New York City, but the wind died down. Only gasoline propelled the plane. At approximately 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, she neared Harnell, New York, where a group of supports was waiting. Then the engine quit. The fuel tank was empty and Harnell was still 2 miles away. The plane pitched slightly and sank. Ruth had only one chance to make a safe landing. Look at that. That's the plane. And Ruth might be in it. Oh wait, he is. He's in the plane. She struggled to control the steering gear. The field seemed to come up at her. The crowd of spectators spilled into her path. The plane brushed their heads. Ruth was on the ground. She was so cold and hungry that she had to help to nearby car. She was driving to a restaurant for a lunch of scrambled eggs and coffee while her plane was ruffled. She had flown 590 miles nonstop. It was a record. No one in America had ever flown farther, but Ruth's flight was not over. At 3:24 p.m., Ruth set out again for New York City. All day newspapers told the story of Ruth's flight. A crowd in Binghamton, New York, had turned out hoping to see her fly overhead. They were not disappointed. At first, she was just a speck in the sky, but soon she made a striking cameo against the late afternoon sun. Suddenly, the plane slanted toward the ground and disappeared from behind the trees. She's down! Something's broken. Nothing was broken. Ruth had decided to land. New York City was 2 hours away, but she would not be able to read her instruments in the dark. She tied the plane to a tree, wrapped her skirt around her, and accept the hospitality of strangers. Look at that. That's Ruth on the grass. The next morning, Ruth flew to New York City. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's New York City. There's the bridge, and there's all the buildings. And she's going to New York City. When she landed, an army general and the military band were there to greet her. Ruth was a heroine. You beat them all, the general said as he shook her hand. Newspapers heralded her feat. President Woodrow Wilson called her great. A huge banquet was given in her honor. In November 1916, Ruth Law tried to fly from Chicago to New York in one day and failed still. She set an American non-stop cross-country flying record 590 miles and through the nation. Her record stood for 1 year. It was broken by Catherine Stinson, another pilot who dared. The end, you guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.